One of the most asked questions about Valhalla we see here on the channel is of course, what about New Game Plus? Well, Jordan was able to ask that very question to post-launch producer Jose Ariza, and in this video we will tell you all about what he had to say, including info on what we can expect and when to expect it. If that gets you excited, a like on the video would really help the channel out, and let's go! Now don't forget to enter in our weekly Helix credits giveaway for a chance to win a 2300 Helix credits pack. You can enter via the link in the video description, and remember that you have to be a subscriber of the channel to enter. Good luck! And just in case you were wondering what the hell happened to Jordan's voice, don't worry, he's fine and currently enjoying a holiday, and so Joyce and Dennis, that's me, have been filling in for him. So no big change in content, we're still trying to keep you up to date on the latest Valhalla news and other big open world games, but we just wanted to avoid any confusion. Don't worry CPs, we got you, and thank you for the kind words. Alright, so now let's get into all of the new info we have on New Game Plus for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. For those of you who do not know what that is, a New Game Plus feature allows you to replay a game from the beginning with your full inventory and set of abilities. Now we've seen this feature in both Origins and Odyssey before, where you were able to take your character and all of the gear you've gathered on your main save and start the game off with that. And enemies would of course scale up as well to continue to provide a challenge, so you could effectively enjoy the game a second time through. And like you maybe already know, Jordan was able to interview Jose Ariza, the post-launch producer for Valhalla, again to ask him about what content was still coming to the game. We will go more in depth on upcoming content in a future video as well, but for now we wanted to answer one of the most burning questions from the community, which is of course, when will we get New Game Plus? Well, let's listen to Jose to find out what he has to say on the matter.
Any update on New Game Plus?
There's no update. You know, as we continue to fuel more content to the game, it really opens a lot of questions as to what this would look like. I think you can already tell that the goal is to continue to enrich the game, to continue to provide you new experiences. And I believe we chatted a little bit back in
you said that there was like an early concept.
Yeah, that's still an early concept, but he's still not happy because it would basically, the more that we look at it, this idea of having you restart the game with what could carry over and could not carry over, it sort of pulls you away from the content that we're creating. So I think at this point, the more realistic, it's that it will probably be one of the last things that we do to sort of wrap up.
Yeah.
Because we don't want anybody to be stuck in this idea of, oh my god, there's a new something, new activity, new game mode that came out, and I'm hours away from being able to play it.
So it seems like New Game Plus for Valhalla will be one of the last things we're getting, and with an entire new year of content being announced at E3, that means that we won't be seeing it this year and probably even very late in 2022 still. Now this is a pretty big departure from what we saw in earlier games, as both Odyssey and Origins released in October and both received their respective New Game Plus updates in February of next year, only 4 months after. However, with Valhalla we won't be getting New Game Plus in the first year after release, and depending on how much content year 2 is going to bring, we're looking at somewhere between 1.5 to 2 years after release, so that is quite a long time. Now there are of course multiple reasons for this. One of the things that Jose brought up in this interview as well as our previous interview with him is the live service nature of the game. The developers don't want to lock you out of content in New Game Plus. They want to avoid a situation where you just booted up New Game Plus and have to spend a lot of time getting back to Ravensthorpe so you can enjoy the newest festival or the new river raids or mastery challenges. And another reason is of course Valhalla's gear system, which is not really developed for multiple playthroughs. As soon as you find a piece of gear, it's yours, and the only way to make it stronger is through upgrading it. In Odyssey and Origins, the hunt for better weapons and gear continued in New Game Plus, as the numbers and levels could continue to scale and you could keep finding new exciting gear due to the randomization of perks and drops. But in Valhalla, the main thing New Game Plus would offer is the ability to play through the story with some late game gear, like Mjolnir or Gungnir, but no real incentives to explore the world again. Unless they change something, of course. So it might be the case that a traditional New Game Plus might not really work for Valhalla, and instead we could get a more curated experience, like the ability to replay specific story arcs whenever we like. Jordan also asked Jose about this, so let's go back to that interview to hear his take.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that we're exploring. Within that, there's if we give you a New Game Plus, is it a traditional New Game Plus? Is it more sort of edited New Game Plus.
Okay.
And what is the, what would be the value of it for you as a player, other than just redoing the content, obviously without already you having all the gear.
Yeah.
And like I think we chatted a little bit before. Sometimes a New Game Plus serves a purpose of uh, you're trying to elongate a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this idea that, oh man, I finished the game and I wish there was more, and maybe the game wasn't long enough, and I really don't think we have that problem
No.
in Valhalla. So I for us the priority is creating new experiences to diversify the content. So I think for us it's more interesting to continue to give you guys a new experience instead of just saying,
Yeah.
oh, New Game Plus and play
No,
the
that's-
same thing.
So it sounds like Ubi are still looking to give Valhalla's New Game Plus a purpose apart from just replaying the game, and I definitely agree with Jose here that playtime is not a problem in Valhalla. And I personally really like the idea of being able to replay specific arcs of the story. We already saw how well this worked with a narratively driven game like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which unlocked a chapter select mode after you finish the game so you can replay chapters on higher difficulties or go back to grab some items you missed. Another great example of a less traditional New Game Plus in my opinion is Ghost of Tsushima, which is closer in structure to Valhalla than Final Fantasy is. Ghost added a New Game Plus vendor who brought a lot of new cosmetics and even new charms to the table that you could use for some pretty cool new abilities. You pay for these New Game Plus items with a resource that you can earn from every activity you replay in New Game Plus, so instead of resetting rewards, exploration is rewarded with a currency you can use to buy a lot of new cool items. I think a similar system would be a great fit for Valhalla, especially now that it has transmog system so we can earn new skins for our armor and weapons. Maybe some NPC armors as well? I mean, we already have the Basim outfit, why stop there? I think this would make a lot of sense, but of course let me know what you would like to see from New Game Plus in the comments below. And speaking of Ghost, that game also recently added a new feature that allows you to replay cleared locations or completed duels from the world map. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I've been playing too much Ghost, but I just can't help but feel that these features would be great for Valhalla too. I know most enemy locations have respawning enemies already, but those big sieges and other story related battles that were in the game, we only got to experience them once per playthrough. So unless you start a new game and play up until that exact point, there's currently no way to replay those moments, which were definitely some of the highlights for me when I was playing through the game. So whatever shape New Game Plus takes when it finally releases, I do hope that that is something that Ubisoft takes into account. So, to quickly recap for you, according to Jose Araiza, the post-launch producer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, New Game Plus is still being worked on, but it's likely one of the final updates we will see to Valhalla. This places it near the end of the game's lifecycle, and with the announced second year of content continuing Valhalla's post-launch lifecycle to 2022, we won't be seeing it this year and will likely have to wait to the end of 2022 before New Game Plus launches. The main reasons listed for this are the fact that the devs don't want players to miss out on events and because they are still looking at the best way to make New Game Plus work for a game like Valhalla. So it probably won't be a traditional New Game Plus like we've seen from Origins and Odyssey in the past. And that's all the news we currently have on New Game Plus for Valhalla, but we do have way more info from that interview coming in future videos, so subscribe to miss nothing. And if you want, you can check out our previous video where we talk about everything we know about the new Valhalla update that should be dropping very soon. Thanks everyone so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!